so in love with you.
Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is gonna be absolutely bonkers. Now, the data is in, and it's no mystery that Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve is going to crash our markets on purpose because they have to. Why do they have to? We have runaway inflation, but thank goodness, you guys, that they're finally admitting what they're about to do and the reality of the problems that we're in. And I believe that they're downplaying everything because of the overwhelming political pressures that are constantly controlling the Federal Reserve. So today, we're going to read an article where the Fed essentially acknowledges that we will have price decline, and those price declines, y'all, are going to be significant. So what we're going to do today is we're going to jump into a Fortune article titled, "Fed Admits a Sharp Home Price Decline is Possible." So you guys see, let me make a quick point real quick. The longer you wait, the better the deal right now. But if you wait too long and if you don't prepare while you're waiting, then unaffordability and investors are going to prevent you from becoming a winner. So you got to double down right now. But remember, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just a normal guy that's been through a lot of stuff that's trying to guide some potential first-time home buyers through this wicked, crazy housing market. And for that, guys, please like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and shoot me a comment below. But regardless, let's get in on this article right now. Fed Chair Jerome Powell was asked at the FOMC press conference in September to clarify what he meant when he said a few months earlier the U.S. housing market would reset. His response: "We've entered into a difficult correction that will see the U.S. housing market transition to a more balanced market for buyers and sellers alike." However, Powell still hasn't addressed the elephant in the room. Will U.S. home prices fall? But I disagree. I think he has addressed that. I just think that he can't say things bluntly because everyone will panic. But if you really listen to what he's saying, he's telling us already. Fast forward to this week, and we finally got a better understanding of the central bank's view on home prices. On Thursday, Fed Governor Christopher Waller told an audience at the University of Kentucky that it's possible we can see a material drop in U.S. home prices. While this housing market correction could be fairly mild, I cannot dismiss the possibility of a much larger drop in demand and house prices before the market stabilizes. That's the first time a Fed official has acknowledged that the ongoing housing correction could see home prices fall at a national level. Waller also admitted that home price correction might end up being more than a small tick down. It could, he says, be a material correction. So you guys, listen, if he's saying that, what do you think the reality is going to be? Because remember what the Federal Reserve has been saying, inflation is transitory, that it's not going to be that bad. Do you remember them saying that? So if he's saying that we're going to have a material price decline, I think it's going to be super significant. And I really believe that as a result of our artificially created economy, I believe an overcorrection is going to take place. But I kind of feel like we need an overcorrection. But nevertheless, I think our economy is too weak to handle this. And I believe as a result of that, there's going to be an overcorrection. And if you got cash on the sidelines and you have phenomenal credit and good income and you're out of consumer debt, I'm telling you guys, we're going to find the deals of our lifetimes, but we need to work right now. Y'all starting to see that? Y'all starting to hear my message? Y'all get it, right? And if you're new to my channel, again, like and subscribe. But let's go back into the article right now. Despite the risk of a material correction in house prices, several factors help reduce my concern that such a correction would trigger a wave of mortgage defaults and potentially destabilize the financial system. One is that because of relatively tight mortgage underwriting in the 2010s, the credit scores of mortgage borrowers today are generally higher than they were prior to the last housing correction. And that's absolutely 100% true. Also, the experience on the last correction taught us that most borrowers only default when they experience a negative shock to their incomes in addition to being underwater on their mortgages. Reading between the lines, it looks like Waller is making 4 points. Number one, the housing market correction could be mild. 2, there's a scenario where the housing market correction isn't mild. Number 3, a sharp home price decline is possible. And number 4, if a sharp home price drop manifests, it wouldn't trigger a 2008 type foreclosure wave or financial crisis. And for the most part, I actually agree with that. However, I still think that the price decline this time around is going to be more significant than in 2008. And the reason is that 2008 happened over 4.5 years. Our current bubble happened over 2 years, and it was fake. So when it's fake and it happens in half the time, I think it's going to crumble harder. We essentially have more fake equity that we can lose and be okay, because most homeowners have a 2-3% interest rate, so they can afford a 20-30% drop like it's nothing. Whereas in the past, we didn't even have employment. I couldn't even get a job at Walmart, and I had multiple licensing. I was a beast worker, and back then I couldn't even get a job at Walmart. Talk about embarrassing, right? Regardless, let's hop back into the article and let me show you the map in some metro areas where it's extremely overvalued right now. All right, guys, so here's a map that is showing metro areas that are down from the peak. Okay, so it's not a year-over-year decline, it's from peak decline. And 12% being dark red, green being 0%. All right, so this is from peak again. And let's look at some of these cities. Okay, to look at California, obviously a bunch of places from California are obviously overvalued, as you can see here. So San Francisco, all San Jose, all these places. And we're probably, here's Los Angeles, Riverside, San Diego are all down. Obviously, Las Vegas is on here. Boise's on here, obviously. Phoenix is on here. And look at Texas. There's Austin. I've been watching Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, obviously. Look at Florida. It looks like Northport in Florida has had the biggest declines, followed by Port St. Lucie, Deltona. But at least things are changing. Tampa's starting to change. Tallahassee, Florida also, so a lot of places over here, Savannah, Georgia, Charleston, Myrtle Beach. So these are experiencing price declines right now. So this is actually really great news. To be honest with you, Salt Lake City's on here, obviously. Look at the East Coast, Providence, Rhode Island. Boston is experiencing it. I get a lot of people talk about Boston. Don't worry, you guys. The prices are going down, and they will go down even more. Now, let me see if I could find New Orleans. So New Orleans is down as well. But the thing is actually New Orleans should be in much worse shape, because according to Redfin, New Orleans is down 9, depending on the week, 9 to 10% year over year. So that's why I'm always telling you guys, look at many data sources, because the data that they're offering us varies significantly. But these types of maps are super important, especially if you want to invest in real estate, or more importantly, especially if you can pick a general area where you purchase your primary residence. So you may want to focus on those overvalued cities, because more than likely those price drops, they're going to be sharp, you guys. And that's when we get deals for pennies on the dollar. Regardless, let's finish this article. Of course, the Fed acknowledging that home prices could fall comes after home prices in many markets have already started to fall. Among the 148 major regional housing markets tracked by John Burns Real Estate Consulting, 98 of those markets have seen values fall from their 2022 peaks. In 11 markets, the Burns Home Value Index has already dropped by more than 5%. It's crazy the data varies so much. Prices have even fallen in some areas of the country, especially those that saw the largest increases over the previous 2 years. And many builders are reporting cutting their list prices and offering larger incentives, like we thought would happen. So far, the housing correction, which is driven by spiking mortgage rates, is hitting one of two markets the hardest. The first group are high-cost tech hubs. This includes markets like San Francisco, San Jose, and Seattle. Not only are their high-end real estate markets more rate-sensitive, but so are their tech sectors. But I'll also add Boise and Austin on that list. I'm not sure why they're not on there. The other groups are bubbly markets like Austin. Here we go. Austin, Boise, and Phoenix. During the pandemic housing boom, those bubbly markets saw home prices reach levels well beyond what local incomes would historically support. According to Moody Analytics, Austin and Phoenix are overvalued by 61% and 57%, respectively. So, you guys, here's the thing. Moody Analytics just adjusted that, and Austin's actually now calculated at being overvalued by 77%. So, what we're actually seeing here, and we're going to start seeing this a lot, and I believe after midterms, we're going to start seeing the forecasters pricing in a recession. I don't think we've seen that because, again, I think it's political. I think because of midterms, a lot of people have been covering up the fact that we're in a recession. And again, once they start adding that into their forecasting, you guys, the real cat's going to be out of the bag and people are going to start freaking out, especially if you're an investor that purchased in the last 4 months and you wanted to flip. Those people are done. They're doomed. But regardless, you guys, we're all in this together. So help your friends out, show some love to people. And as always, I hope you got value from today's video. And if you're out there investing in real estate, I do wish you luck and I hope you win.